Stepping into Terry Barth's home studio, it quickly becomes apparent that creativity is a big part of his life. Musical equipment, personal writings, and hundreds of visual art pieces litter his workplace. A self-aware artist void of pretension, Terry knows his works can elicit an unsettling reaction.
Creativity's always been there. So I've always just had a means of biding my time. You know what, as much as I don't want to admit it, I guess I am very regimented because pretty much it's always the same thing every night, 4 hours at least. I hardly ever work in the day. I actually always work at night. I have been for the past 10 years that I do paint. It's actually kind of funny, actually, looking at these in the light. I don't like any of these. No. No one wants to be weird, but you gotta accept it if you are, you know. And there's always different variations of that anyway. 2 years ago, I went through a very dark period. So all the paintings came out really dark. It was getting to the point where some people were getting scared by it. You know, they were going, "We thought your paintings were a little unique or abstract or something like that, but now they're real dark." I was kind of like quiet with certain people in my life to be friends with them on Facebook because I was afraid they'd see my paintings, or vice versa. I wouldn't post paintings because, well, I got to a point where I believed, I was like, you know, I got nothing left to hide. All the honesty's coming out. I don't know, it's funny with people's interest in the macabre and things like that. I think that's what maybe some people found more interest into, so it was funny that the darker stuff was more appealing. So then next thing you know, all these likes, friends, and suddenly, out of nowhere, and so the reaction was kind of different than I expected. I do love that weird kind of aspect of taking like the strange things, you know, throwing something strange in the wind and then letting people pick it up for whatever the hell they want to see it as. That was like almost kind of therapy. It's like, that's why I think everybody personally should try, even if you can't draw a stick man, you can draw something just to get something out. That's the gift of it. I don't care if it's through painting or just having a conversation like this. Any kind of expression is good, even silence. Every night, I'll just add a little piece into it. Even if I'm not in the mood, things change in that stream of consciousness. What the painting might have been yesterday is no longer today. Really, all of it is being worked on simultaneously, you know. It pretty much is done when I get sick of looking at it, or I don't want to mess it up or something. What I like about it too is that not every night's successful. There's some nights where I feel like I did 20 paintings. I wake up in the morning and it's like it's a brand new day, the sun is shining, you know, and then there's some days where it's just like I was totally in the mood to do something and I sit down and it just looks awful, or I mess something up that I liked. I paint on the garbage because I think it gives it character. It's cheaper than canvas. To be honest, like I didn't like the other side of the painting that's behind you there, and I wasn't finished with it, and I flipped it over, and I'm like I said, I'm a night painter, so I haven't actually seen that through the light. This is the first time I've seen it that way. Today, after you guys take off, might be one of the first times I work on a painting in a long time in the daytime, because I want to do something before that light fades out. Silly to say, actually kind of even almost somewhat bravely stupid. My whole life has been pretty much improvised. When I used to play live shows, I never would go up on stage with material. It was the exact opposite, actually. Three main mediums: music, writing, and art. But I always noticed that when one is higher, they obviously, the other ones start to slow down. If I'm 100% into writing, the painting dies. Then what's funny is that when I get back into the painting, there's a new style that sometimes comes out of it too. I got really into with books and lyrics and things like that as a kid. I was always obsessed with the words too. A lot of people would always tell me, especially like my art teacher in high school and things like that, they always say, you know, you're already kind of describing what the painting's about. If you put the words in there, you're losing the ability for someone to interpret that, you know. But I don't know, sometimes it's like a memo for myself, you know, like the reminder, oh, that's what this was about. Or, you know, sometimes it's to make you think it's about something else, you know, and then sometimes it's just first word comes to mind. And it's like come and go. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they get painted out.
Even though Terry creates every day, it's been over 10 years since his last showing.
Do you feel like there is no need? You're not compelled to share it?
I should. No, I really should. Last show I had, I sold this painting, and it was like, and it's funny because like, for a period of time, I had the phone number of that person that I sold the painting to, and I texted him once a year. You still got the painting. They mean a lot to me. But I really should, because one thing is I'm going to paint myself into a corner if I don't quit, and the other thing is eventually you get to the point where you feel like you're talking to yourself. When I moved into this place, it took us 4 carloads to get all the paintings out, and majority of them are still at my friend's house. And then he started putting them up on the wall, and I feel bad now taking them down. I don't know, like be like, those are mine, you know. So now they're part of his house. They're, you know, sort of thing like that. But at least I can go over there and talk to him, you know, hang out. It's weird. It's just it's a personal relationship you get with certain things like that too. But there's also a time where you just gotta let things go.